Howdy, hi. It is Do Your Job Sports College Basketball Picks and Predictions for Sunday, March 23rd, 2025. We are looking at the best bets of the day. Maybe. Let's get into the video. All right, so first things first, we got to recap not the previous day's results, but these are from 2 days ago. After getting my ass handed to me twice in 2 days, I decided to take a day off. And it was good because I went 3-4 today in the games that I actually put money on. So it would have been another losing day. So I'm glad I did that. But anyway, 2 days ago, we went 2-5, bringing our season record to 459 and 438. I will preface these next 6 picks you hear. If you would like money, fade me. I have now had 3 losing days in a row. March Madness is kicking my ass. So I'm going to recap the winners and then the losers, and then we can get on to tomorrow's picks. So from 2 days ago, we had Alabama, Robert Morris. We had the over 166.5. This was looking like it was dead, and then they just scored like 12 points in the final, I think, minute and 3 seconds with free throws and made jumpers from RMU. So shout out to Robert Morris for putting up 81. Shout out, I guess, Alabama for putting up 90 and getting the win. Grant Nelson turns out kind of a massive piece of this team. He only played 7 minutes. He had 5 points and 3 rebounds. The one who kind of screwed up, Chris Youngblood, 2 of 7 from the field, 3 turnovers, not very good. Mark Sears had a good game, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 10 assists. And then we had Mohamed Diabate, you beast, 18 and 10. So shout out to you guys. We then had Ole Miss, who ended North Carolina's season. They win the game outright. It was a lot closer than it should have been, considering they were up 18 points at halftime. They win the game by 7. North Carolina, 38% from the field, 21% from deep. Ole Miss, 44% from the field, despite losing the turnover battle by a wide margin. 14 turnovers for Ole Miss. They're still able to get it done, 71-64. Shout out Rebels. Now we get to the losers. There was a lot of them. First one was Mississippi State -1.5 against Baylor. They lose that game. Final score 75-72. They couldn't put the ball in the hoop, and they turned it over way too much. 14 turnovers. They also lost the offensive rebound battle by 8. I'm not sure how you do that when Baylor's biggest and tallest player is Norchad Omier, who stands 6'8", 240 pounds. You have a 7-foot dude on your team. How are you giving up that many rebounds? I don't know. We then had Marquette, who got digged down by New Mexico. Did not think New Mexico was capable of this. I literally saw New Mexico play in person just a week ago against Boise State, and they played like ass. But they came out and they kind of took a shit on Marquette. 75-66. Marquette, they lose the offensive rebound battle. They won the turnover battle, actually. They just couldn't put the ball in the hoop. 41% from the field. New Mexico, 47% from the field. Shout out to the Lobos. We then had Akron, plus 14.5. They got absolutely molly-walloped by Arizona. 93-65, 28-point loss. Good God. Akron, what if I told you they lost the offensive rebound battle by 10, but they won the turnover battle by 8? They just couldn't shoot the ball. 33% from the field. Arizona, 56% from the field. We had Xavier, plus 3.5. They lose by 13 to Illinois. Did not see that coming. And then with the over in the North Carolina game, that was no good because they scored no points. So that's how we did it. Let's get into the picks for tomorrow. Game number 1, it is UConn and Florida. I'm taking the over 150.5. I was going to take the Gators -9.5, but I think it's just a little bit too big. UConn, they've won 13 March Madness games in a row. I don't think I can fade them with that large of a spread. So instead, I will take the over. Both of these teams have been putting the ball in the hoop recently, so I'll keep that rocking. UConn coming off of a 67-59 win against Oklahoma. They average 77 points a game, played a bottom 25 pace in the country, but they do shoot at 48% from the field. They make 9 3-pointers a game. Their defense really not that solid. They're 160th in the country. Not nearly what they were last year with Klingon and all those NBA guys on the team. They are not built like that. Florida, coming off of demolishing Norfolk State by 26. They really could have named their number in that game. They took their starters out late. They score 86 points a game, play at a top 50 pace, and shoot at 47% from the field. They love the three ball. They make 10 of them per game. They're the best rebounding team in the country. They're going to dominate the boards. UConn's really only got two big guys down low. Florida's got a ton of size, a ton of talent. I think they can put up 80 plus. UConn will probably hang in there. So give me the over 150.5. Next game we're looking at, I think this is the only NIT game I took today. Not 100%, but I'm pretty sure. Kent State, Stanford, I'm taking the Golden Flashes plus 7.5. The only thing that scares me is they do have to travel across the country. Their first game in the NIT tournament was in New York against St. Bonaventure. Now they got to go about as far as possible, traveling all the way to Stanford. The Cardinals, they're coming off of beating Cal State Northridge by 17 in the first round. There's a lot better competition here with Kent State. So I'm going to take Kent plus the 7.5. They just beat St. Bonaventure 75-56. They absolutely steamrolled them. They score 74 points a game, played a bottom 125 pace, shooting at 44% from the field. In terms of size, they actually match up really well here against Stanford, considering they are a MAC school. They are great on the boards, 74th in the country in overall rebounding. Very well coached. I think they're 100% live to win this game outright. They were catching, I think it was 6.5 against St. Bonaventure, and they rolled. I 100% think they can do the same thing here. Nobody is going to be at this game for Stanford. Stanford 21-13 on the year. I'm not sure why they got a 2 seed for being the 7th overall team in the ACC, but here we are. They score 73 points a game, played a bottom 125 pace, shoot it 44% from the field. They lose most of the stat battles here. They have a way worse defense ranked as well. Kent State, they got the better roster. They got the better defense. I think they win this game outright, so give me Kent plus the 7.5. Next game, I really should not be taking Bama minus 5.5, but here we are. Alabama, they get Grant Nelson back, who is apparently 100% healthy and is going to play his regular full amount of minutes in this game. They're going to need him. I think Bama has a bounce-back game after that weirdly bad performance against RMU. St. Mary's, their first game, they managed to squeak out a 3-point win against Vanderbilt despite being down 12 points at 1 point during the game. They played a bottom 10 pace, shoot at 45% from the field. They're an old team. They're very well coached. They do play the exact opposite style of basketball than Bama. So it should be an interesting matchup-wise, style-wise, to see who's going to come out on top. Bama, they just won by 9 against Robert Morris. They did look like they were missing a big piece without Grant Nelson in that starting lineup. You had the smaller guards, and then you had Cliff down low. There was no connecting tissue. You needed the connections. Without Grant Nelson, they didn't have that. They dominate the stats here. Cliff should be able to handle Saxon down low. If you've never watched St. Mary's play basketball, I want you to imagine a slightly larger Zydrunas Ilgauskas, and that is Saxton down low. It's a 3-ball is falling here. I don't think St. Mary's is going to be able to keep up. Bama's got the athletes. They're in the better conference, battle-tested, now healthy. Give me Bama. Roll Tide. Next game, I'm going to take another SEC school and fade the Big Ten. Probably shouldn't be fading the Big Ten, but I'm going to do it because I don't care. I liked how Kentucky played defense in their first game against Troy. Illinois sometimes struggles to score the basketball. They had that little stretch in the middle of their season where I think they lost like 6 out of 7 or 5 out of 7 simply because they couldn't make a shot. So if they struggle to do that here, they're going to find themselves down a lot of points against a Kentucky team who can shoot the lights out the building. Illinois coming off of beating Xavier by 13. They shot at 48% from the field. They went perfect from the free throw line, 18 of 18. They score 84 points a game, played a top 25 pace. They do make 9 3-pointers a game, but that's not really indicative of how well they shoot it. They only shoot it 31% from deep. So if they're not falling, they're just going to continue to chuck them. They do dominate the boards here. They're a fantastic rebounding team, but they turn it over a bunch. They had 14 turnovers against Xavier. Xavier just couldn't hit water from a boat. Kentucky, they will be able to do that. KU, they just beat Troy 76 to 57, forcing them to 35% from the field, having 10 turnovers. University of Kentucky was strapping up on defense. They score 85 points a game, played a top 25 pace, and they shoot at 48% from the field. In terms of coaching, I like Pope more than I like Underwood. Kentucky, they got the best player on the court with Butler. I'll take him with a blue blood going against the Illinois, who always ends up losing early in March Madness. Give me Kentucky plus 1.5. All right, so this is a thing we're doing. Since I've been losing so much, I was like, well, I might as well switch something up. I'm going to take an under. I have not done this in, I think, over a month and a half, but here we are. New Mexico, Tom Izzo, give me the under, 147.5. These two teams, in terms of offense, play two very different styles. New Mexico likes to run up and down the court. Michigan State plays more of a possessions game. They're both very solid on defense, and Tom Izzo should be able to have his team ready to run through a wall. So I think they make this game ugly. Give me the under, 147.5. New Mexico, they won their first game 75 to 66 against Marquette. They held them to 41% from the field, forced them into 11 turnovers. New Mexico averages 81 points a game, played a top 10 pace in the country. They only shoot at 45% from the field, and they only make 7 threes a game. They're not really a three-point heavy shooting team. They're led by their dominant guard play, great on the boards. New Mexico's a good team. They were number 1 in the Mountain West for a reason. I do think Sparty gets them here, though. Michigan State, they won their first game against Bryant, 87 to 62. Despite only being up 5 points at halftime, that locker room must have been bumping. They score 78 points a game, played a bottom 150 pace, shoot at 46% from the field. Both of these teams have top 25 defenses. They're ranked 18th and 20th, respectively. They value possessions. Michigan State, normally not a team to run down the court and just immediately get into an offensive set. They like to set everything up, see what they're looking at. Tom Izzo calls in the play. I think this goes under 147.5. It should be close. Hopefully the free throws don't put it in our ass. Final game, I'm taking Duke, and I think I'm taking Duke for the rest of the season. Baylor just played a really close game against Mississippi State where they won by 3. I think this is where their world comes tumbling down. Jeremy Roach, your season's about to be ended by your old team. Norchad Omier, I hate seeing you on a basketball court. Please go overseas. Anyway, Baylor, in their 3-point victory against Mississippi State, they won the rebounding battle and the turnover battle. That is not going to happen against this Duke squad. Baylor, they score 76 points a game, played a bottom 75 pace, shoot at 45% from the field. They also lose the size battle by a lot. You got Roach, you have Norchad Omier, you have Edgecombe as your main 3 guys. Those guys are all midgets compared to what Duke got. You got Malawach down low, who's sitting at 7'1", 260-something pounds. There is no chance Omier is going to be able to do anything down low against him. Duke, coming off of a very strong 44-point win against Mount St. Mary's, they should continue to roll here. They score 83 points a game, played a bottom 100 pace, and they shoot at 49% from the field. They're young, but their freshmen are just so goddamn good. I really don't think it matters. You got Con Kniffel, you got Cooper Flagg, you got Malawach. They're all beasts. And then on top of that, you have Proctor, the junior. You have the transfer from Purdue, Giles, I forget the name of. And then you also have that other freshman who comes off the bench who is just a strap god. And then you have Sion James from God, their team is so good. Anyway, I'm going to take Duke minus 12.5. I think they win by 100. And that's it for the video. I appreciate you guys watching and tuning in. Like I said, you might want to fade all of these because I cannot win during March Madness. This first weekend has had my number. Do with this what you will. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will catch you in tomorrow's video. Peace.